Hello everyone, welcome back to Shady Movie Reviews and welcome to my first ever spoiler review / discussion video. And today we're talking about, you guessed it, Spider-Man Far From Home. Alright, let's just jump right into it. Alright, so before we get into the video, this is your warning. Spoiler alert. You have been warned. I will continue talking about spoilers as of right now. So if you haven't seen Spider-Man Far From Home, leave the video and come back after you've seen it. Alright, so let's just dive right into this. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that Sony and Marvel hit us with a pretty big misdirect. And that was by playing it off as Mysterio not being the villain in this movie. When you watch the trailers, they play it very coy and very safe, as if Mysterio's actually kind of there to help, and it's like, oh, he's from another universe, so he's not really the real Quentin Beck. He's a good guy in that universe, kind of playing the whole multiverse card. But really, Sony and Marvel just hit us with a sidewinder. It was just like, huh, nope. And like all the elementals that were attacking Europe and all that, that was all fake. It was all planned by Mysterio because Mysterio wanted to befriend Peter so he can steal Tony Stark's glasses. And then I just want to say, like, the special effects on those guys too, like, they were just really cool. But another thing I want to go over too is in this movie, it also explains the snap, or now it's being named the blip, and the reason why is because not everyone on the planet knew that a snap is what took everyone away. So they just called it a blip because everyone blipped out of existence. It makes total sense. And then the movie, in the first 5 to 10 minutes, explains the time gap and like everything that happened in the 5 years, how everyone came back. Pretty much everyone that got snapped, they were at the age that they were, and everyone else kept aging. And 5 years go by, and those people that are snapped away come back. So, you know, if Peter's 16 and he got snapped, he came back, he was still 16. But his friend, let's say his friend didn't get snapped and he was 16, he's now 21. You see, like, and like that's pretty much happened across the universe, and like it's crazy because like now, like, in this world they have younger brothers that are now the older brothers, and before the snap thing happened, this was like a little 12-year-old kid, and now he's some, like, you know, 17-year-old like football player, and he's like, you know, this guy's name is Brad, I think. Brad. He comes in the picture and he's actually trying to like get at Michelle, or Zendaya's character Michelle, MJ. Another thing I want to go over is also Ned gets a girlfriend in this movie, and like I just thought it was really funny because I really felt like Ned's relationship with his girlfriend, I feel like it really is a good representation of how relationships are in high school and middle school. And another thing too, the bar scene where after they defeat the fire elemental that, you know, wasn't real, it was really actually fake. But Jake Gyllenhaal, or Mysterio, sitting there in a bar with Peter Parker, and Peter Parker has gotten to the point where he feels like he can trust Quentin Beck, and he's like, the world needs the next Iron Man, and I think it could be you. It shouldn't be me. I want you to have these glasses. And then you see, after Peter leaves, you see the whole bar dematerialize, and that's when you find out, oh, Mysterio is the bad guy, because he used to work for Tony Stark, and Tony Stark stole his tech, and we saw it in Civil War when he did the memory recall thing. That was Quentin Beck's technology, and he stole it from Quentin Beck, and Quentin Beck got fired by Tony, and he was furious, so he got a bunch of other people that had been wronged by Tony and got them together and was like, we're gonna steal his stuff now that he's gone, and we're gonna take over. And they used Peter Parker to get to his tech. But yeah, I just really love that bar scene because to me it was very unexpected. You think the movie's going one way, and then it just takes a whole nother direction. Like, you could have said that, you know, Mysterio being the villain could have been obvious, and maybe, yeah, you could say that. But with the trailers, and when you actually watch the first 40 minutes of the film, you're like, oh, wow, He's a good guy. Like, it does a really good job of misdirecting you. And, like, that's the whole point. That is what Mysterio does. Mysterio's power, in a sense, is misdirection. I really liked how they did it. And also how they connected it all the way back to Iron Man 1. Like, it goes back to the roots of the MCU. And, like, that was really cool. That's not how it happens in the comics. But I feel like it's the best way they could have done it for the MCU. And I feel like it was perfect. And then another thing I want to go over is the fight scene between Mysterio and Spider-Man in the middle of the movie. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. If you've seen the movie, the dream sequence type psychological warfare that was going on between Mysterio and Spider-Man. So Spider-Man tries to go meet up with Nick Fury to tell him, like, hey, you know, Mysterio's evil. But really, he went into Mysterio's trap. And Mysterio uses all these high-tech projectors. He can make you see anything he wants. So he sets it up to make it look like Nick Fury's office at the time. And then Peter goes there and then he like gets blindsided by Mysterio and his drones. And now he's getting the crap kicked out of him. And like, you know, sequence after sequence, he's like, it's like a nightmare, and it's crazy because like, at first he's like in the building, and then he's in a dark room in a dark hallway, and he sees Mysterio, and he tries punching Mysterio, and it goes, like he hits a wall instead of him because like he's not really there. And then he goes into another sequence, and then you see Tony Stark's grave, and then Mysterio starts talking over him like, maybe if you were better, maybe Tony would still be alive, and like when Mysterio said that, like I actually had chills. Like I was like, dude, like he's just a kid, man. Like he like, you know that Peter's already feeling that. Like he's ripping Peter to shreds. Like he's like Mysterio's power is getting inside your head and just really messing with you, and he was ripping him apart in that sequence, mentally, physically, and just every way you can, because like in so many superhero movies we've seen so far, and like the MCU's been so far, like we've seen a lot of different like fight scenes, and we've seen punching and kicking, but we haven't seen a lot of like psychological battles. And I felt like this fight scene in the middle was very psychological, and it was a mind game. It wasn't just punching and kicking, because Mysterio is just a guy. He doesn't actually have any real superpowers. But his greatest weapon is his mind games and his illusions. If you actually get your hands on Mysterio, you can beat the crap out of him. Like, he's just a guy. But it's getting to him that's the hard part. It's because you can't get to him because everything's an illusion. You think you got him, but you really don't. Like, and the scene was just, I felt like it was very emotional, and it was very emotionally tearing. Like, it really tore at your heart, especially after seeing Endgame and seeing how Peter took Tony's death. Like it really ripped that scar open. But it was hands down my favorite part of the film. I love that scene. I will watch that scene a million times and not get tired of it. And then by the end of the film, Peter and MJ are finally together. MJ guesses Spider-Man's identity, but I mean, everyone already knew that. Actually, that's not really a spoiler. They actually put that in the trailer. It wasn't necessary. They didn't have to put it in there. It didn't make you want to see the movie less or more. It was kind of just a wasted opportunity of like a good surprise to put in a movie, a good sequence, like a good twist. Yeah, a good twist to put in the movie. And then another thing I want to talk about too is the end battle scene. Like I said in my last review, it wasn't as good as the middle battle scene, because like I said, the middle battle scene was like amazing because it was like this dream nightmare sequence thing. But the end battle scene was more like, oh, like, you know, Mysterio had this giant monster attacking everyone, and then like Peter got inside the simulation and destroyed a couple of the drones, and then it destroyed the simulation, and then I just felt that the scene in the middle where they were fighting in the dream nightmare sequence, I felt like I felt like that was so good. Why wouldn't you want that to be like your final battle? Why wouldn't you want it to be something like super climactic, super large scale? And I just felt like the end battle, it was action packed, but like I felt like the middle battle took so much more of an emotional toll on you, and it was deeper. It was like a deeper feeling. And I felt like the end battle didn't have that, and I was kind of just like, why, you know, like. And then let's talk end credit scenes. So there's two end credit scenes in this movie. The first one is the one that made everyone lose their shit. Everyone lost their minds in the theater. The first end credit scene, we see Spider-Man take MJ on a date by swinging her through New York. And then right after, Spider-Man and MJ look up on a screen, and behold, J.K. Simmons comes back as J. Jonah Jameson and has a clip sent from Mysterio exposing Peter's identity. I still can't believe that they got J.K. Simmons to come back. Like, that's... Like, no one saw that coming. No one ever thought he would come back, and, like, it was crazy. Like, seeing him back on screen, I was like, whoa, I feel like I'm watching the Sam Raimi films again. Like, when I was a kid, I was like, this is crazy. And now the whole world knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. And that has huge implications for the movies going forward, the Spider-Man movies going forward, and all the MCU movies going forward, because that's going to greatly affect people knowing who Spider-Man is. It's going to affect his friends, it's going to affect his family, it's going to affect MJ, and it's going to change everything. And another thing too is also Mysterio kind of made the video seem like it was his, the video made it seem like Peter Parker was the one who caused all the damage in Europe and all this stuff, so it also looks like a lot of people are going to start hating Peter now. And then the other thing I want to talk about too is the final end credit scene where we see Nick Fury and Maria Hill driving, and all of a sudden they transform into Skrulls. And I'm not gonna lie, I was really confused, and I was freaked out, because when I saw this end credit scene, I was actually convinced that Nick Fury and Maria Hill were Skrulls ever since Captain Marvel. In Captain Marvel, like Talos and his wife never left. Maria Hill and Nick Fury took off, and so ever since the 90s, we've been dealing with Skrull Nick Fury and Skrull Maria Hill. But I don't think that's what it is, because a lot of people are saying that it was more so just after Endgame, and some people are saying it was after Winter Soldier, after he died and came back. People are saying a lot of different things, but I don't really think there's anything that confirms when it would say he when he switched out or not. But the only time I can think about where Nick Fury and Talos were in the same place was in Captain Marvel back in 1990, so that's why I assumed that it was probably, they switched way back then, and ever since then, we've really just been watching Talos. I was mind blown in the theater, and then I went home, watched some videos, and everyone was saying like, oh, it's just for this movie, oh, since like this movie, since Endgame. So I don't really know what the real answer is. Maybe some of you guys can jump down the comments and let me know on that one, what you guys think, what your theories are, since there's no real confirmation, at least that I know of. But if there is, let me know, correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, like, Spider-Man Far From Home was amazing. The scenes, amazing. The action, amazing. Watching Peter fight the elementals, amazing. Watching Mysterio, amazing. The Dream Nightmare sequence, amazing. Alright guys, I really hope you enjoyed my first spoiler talk video. I really enjoyed talking spoilers with you guys, and I really hope to do more of these, so I can't wait until the next one, guys. So, Spider-Man Far From Home, have you guys seen it? Have you guys not? Jump down in the comments section, let's start conversation. Remember to like, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.